Yeah, me stole up a bumper clad bad boy sound.
So I'm here today with my friend Alex, who goes by Rends, to talk a little bit about his track Sounds of Bad Men as part of the Rolled Up Summer Vibes Volume 2 mixtape. Thank you for joining me, and how are you today?
Fantastic, man. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So, Alex, tell me a little bit about yourself. Who are you as an artist?
Well, got involved 96, 97, started as an MC, linked up with a fantastic, talented person in Miami named Generate, Renee Reyes. Him and I did our thing for a bit, and then Marco Fabian asked me to be part of B Camp, and then rolled with B Camp. Learned a lot with them and that whole crew about just discipline, the sound, the culture, and then totally influenced by my friends, got into DJing, started playing, and then wanted to take that extra step and got into producing, went into doing some stuff on my own, but was part of a group called New Republic, a fantastic group of individuals out of South Florida, and eventually we all went and did our own thing, started doing other stuff, and started working under the Alex M name, and then took some time off, trying to get things right, do things different, and then came back and reintroduced myself, new name, and just trying to take a humble approach and develop a sound. So now I'm back in it and rolling with a whole new crew, and still representing and supporting everyone. And find myself here now.
Awesome. On the topic of names, where does Rends come from?
Well, it's tough finding names, man. I used to MC in the name Gone Too Far, and then I used my name Alex M for years, and trying to find something to go with, and all the cool stuff has been taken. So I figured find something that would, I guess, suit me, and to emotionally tear apart, pretty much is what Rends means, and transfer that into a dance, tear down a dance, and figured the name went well, and guys do not even want to know what I had chosen before that, but the name came from there, got some support on it, something different, no one was repping it, so I went with it.
Awesome, man. And how long have you known about Rolled Up Records, and when did you first catch wind that they were looking for submissions for the mixtape?
So, if my memory recalls, I right when they did the first push, I don't remember really meeting Tim, but knowing about him in the Florida scene, and didn't know Aaron, and really didn't know the rest of the crew. So it was one of those for the last year, because I believe Rolled Up is coming up on a year or so now, anniversary, so to say. So for the last year, just following the releases and looking at all the hype, definitely it's a standout collective. They have qualities that other labels didn't have, and they're pitching themselves different. I approached Caddy one day, pitched some stuff, and then just tried to establish a relationship, conversation over time, and he eventually bid on a few things, and it all went from there. He had some songs that he was interested in, and then he asked, I believe, for a song for the mixtape, and I had one available. Somehow was working on, and wanted him to have, and then it landed at home, and that's where we're at right now.
Perfect. This is one of the few tracks on the compilation that are more jungle driven than the rest. Now that is kind of your typical style, right, in production, or do you produce a variety of other types of drum and bass as well?
Don't want to be that guy, but I wouldn't necessarily say that I have a style. For such a long time, I was trying to chase something that probably was the wrong thing to chase, and I had everything wrong when I approached music. And it wasn't about necessarily following people or following a sound. And one thing is being influenced, and the other thing is trying to sound like someone or something. So I wouldn't necessarily categorize myself or put myself into a certain subgenre. I'm gonna write whatever feels good, whatever comes out, and definitely influenced by different styles of drum and bass and jungle. Just what comes out comes out.
Absolutely. I think I can resonate with that as well because there have been many times in my musical pursuits where I feel like there's been a certain direction that I want to go down, and then like I don't know, I almost want to say that I'm kind of driven by moods on a daily or like weekly basis. Like I'll be feeling one thing one minute and then like another one the next, and it's like I always tell myself I'm going to have a certain style, but like you said, you just kind of like is a little bit all over the place at times. So I definitely know where you're getting at with that.
Well,
Um,
yeah, a lot of people call it influences, but another thing is what drives you, what motivates you. And I'm sure, I don't want to speak for the rest of the crew, but I'm sure a few of us know how it is that to wake up and actually want to write and you're into something, and there's days that you're just not feeling it. And there's times that you're influenced by things, and then there's times that you're absolutely stuck and not influenced by things. Yep.
right. Now the track itself, what made you decide on the name and the direction of it?
Well, it didn't have a name for a while, and just like probably everyone else, people sit on tunes. They write something, and they really don't finish it. They're always beating at it, changing things, or it's our mindset saying that doesn't sound good. Um, and it's funny because Tim just finished making a point about just go ahead and knock it out, finish a tune, and get it out, and kind of motivated me to finish it. So what drove me to finish it was the fact that I knew it had a home, and someone was interested in it. The song itself didn't really have a thought process. It was more of just an idea and rolling with it. It took so long to get the drums right and to get the sounds right. And there's not a lot going on, but you know, keeping it simple. Simplicity is key. And I figured I can get a point across without having to, you know, overdo it or exaggerate it. You know, there's always room for that later on in other songs. But for this one, I wanted to keep it simple. I wanted to get straight to the point. I wanted to have elements that stood out. And then the name kind of came from a play on the sample. And I wanted to didn't want it to be a singular sound. I wanted it to sound like something that everyone would feel and represent. That's why I called it Sound of Bad Men. Just one of those straight to the point things. Nothing overcomplicated.
I can agree with that. Like you said, sometimes simplicity is key, and that's actually a point that Tim has been trying to drive home with me as well, because I have a really bad tendency to overthink when I'm approaching the production process, but I'm learning to kind of, I guess, unlearn that in a way. So I know exactly where you're coming from. But the few people that I talk to that have heard the track say it's one of their favorites. Like the reception has been pretty good, it seems like.
That warms my heart, makes me feel great. They like it. You know, we're so self-conscious and feel weird about what we write until we get it out there. So, like I said, I was writing for myself. Really wasn't writing for anyone. So I'm happy that they're enjoying it. I'm happy that people are going to be able to hear it on such a, you know, decent, proper platform. So yeah, song's special to me.
It's great to hear, man. Now, during the production itself, is there any part of it that you kind of remember fondly?
Trying to get everything right. So no, I'm just not overthinking and trying to be more self-confident when it comes to a sound or a production. And in this one, it was just more of a, you know, strip down what was not needed, get straight to the point. That's pretty much it.
Last question. What does it mean to you to have this track featured on the compilation with all these artists and to be included as a rolled up artist now yourself?
It feels great. It feels great. I was just talking to someone earlier this morning about the label, and man, there's so many qualities about the label itself that stands out. Very lucky to be part of that group, and for the fact that they meaning the rest of the rolled up crew, they already had this culture and this chemistry within themselves, and then they bring on this, you know, stranger into the group, and everybody's been so supportive, welcoming, nice. The engagement's great. There's fantastic chemistry. One thing I think that stands out is the support from what everyone's doing. Really didn't know what I was getting into, and then once I kind of knew who I was going to be working with and what I'll be doing, it made me feel great. Made me feel great. Kind of pushed some of those barriers I set up for myself and held myself back from writing, and now it's kind of encouraging to, keep up with the boys, so to say, because they're grinding, and there's some fantastic material coming out of that camp. So I'm happy to be part of it, and yeah, there's so much in store.
I do agree with you, and especially on the sense of community that everybody seems to have together. I've talked with a bunch of artists now who are on the label, and I always touch on like the camaraderie that everybody has kind of built with each other. Like you said, everybody's been so supportive, and especially with me since joining the label in administrative duties this year, everybody's been like so great to me, and because I've never been on this side of the music business before, so it's been completely new. But they've all been so welcoming, and Tim and Aaron, like they're so cool, and it's been such a great thing to see, especially for a label that just celebrated like a year of operation now, and to see where they're at, it's really awesome, honestly.
Well, Tim and Aaron are setting an example, and it's not just the sound, and it's not just the label. So yeah, and big up yourself as well, for being disciplined and supportive and managing everything behind the scenes. So thank you for that.
Hey man, well, thank you for joining me in this interview today. I do appreciate you taking the time to answer some questions for me.